99.5 FM.
You're listening to us right here on Kaieteur Radio 99.1 and 99.5 FM. It is time for a compilation of some recent TikTok videos from Mr. Lall. Of course, we're going to bring to you that right now. And let me just remind you, one point of note, coming up at exactly 19 hours 20 or 7:20 p.m. this evening, Wednesday, January 4, 2023, will be the first live edition of the Glenn Lall Show for the year. As you know, Mr. Lall took his break during the Christmas season, so that, of course, it's now time for us to get back to business, doing the people's work. And so we come to you live later this evening at 19 hours 20 and all our social media platforms and on frequencies 99.1 and 99.5 FM.
Yes, profits on Marriott alone can give 10% increase to all public servants every year. But guess what? Them going to sell it out. Man, this Marriott story is so stink that you can smell it even if you're there in outer space. The Marriott with 197 rooms was built with an ill-gotten plan in mind. From the time the first block was laid on that structure, Kaieteur News reported many times it was for the boys. It was only a matter of time for them to snatch it out with hands. When it opened for business in 2015, the hotel couldn't even pay its light bills. That was how bad the investment was on hotels at that time in Guyana. Thank goodness the coalition government won the elections and kicked out the secret players that were installed inside True Republic Bank Trinidad, and the APNU AFC government took over the hotel in full. Then God Almighty smiled on Guyana with the oil discovery, and the hotel began seeing its way. Yes, making money. This is the burden on our tax dollars. Now the PPP is back with the same old tricks. Them say last week the hotel is up for sale. Wait, watch and see whose hands it will land in. Tell me to God, who in their true and righted sense would sell out the best milking cow in their pasture? Marriott is now making money. It's the money-making machine. President Ali is allowing it to disappear from our hands. What a Guyana. That hotel has been fully booked for a long time now at $200 a night. We are talking about 15 million US a year. Take out a third of that for maintenance and salaries. 10 million profit a year. You guys see the kind of money we're talking about there? 10 million US is more than 10% salary increase per year for all the public servants. The police, the teachers, the soldiers, the nurses. And if the room rate double to $400 a night, man, all the public servants can get 20% increase every year alone on that Marriott profits. That's the kind of money our President Ali is going to give away to the boys. Come next year, they're going to find 5% increase to give you. Oh, what a Guyana. their original plan would have become a reality. Happy New Year, guys. I love you all. And I love them too. More to come. Some of them right here will end up in jail. And if them don't, them children will. See what's going on in Angola right now? Look behind me. A judge just issued an international arrest warrant for Isabella de Santos, the daughter of the now dead ex-president, and ordered the seizure of all her assets around the world. Wow, man. With the blessings of her father, the then president, she stole the country's oil money like sand from them poor, poor people in Angola. She thieved so much that she became a billionaire that made her the richest woman in Africa. I hope when they catch her, she rots in jail. And this is a warning to some of them right here. Then, in Mozambique, 4 days ago, it's behind me, an African country too, a judge sentenced another ex-president's son to 12 years in jail. He too, with the blessings of his father while in office, stole hundreds of millions from the starving people of Mozambique. I love today's technology. Both of them get catch up with their loot all over the world. It will happen here, right here very soon. Trump and his children may soon end up joining them in jail. Let's wait, watch and see. Let's also wait and see how long these criminals we have here in Guyana will get away with the crimes. Yes, the wholesale thievery that has been and still going on with the people of this nation's wealth. Old people always say, where you sow, you will reap. If not you, your children will. Only time will tell. Pray y'all remain in power so that the right people don't get in there to give some of y'all sponge bed to sleep on. Savitri Bajan from Linmere Village Quarantine told me just now, she eat beer, balanji and rice Christmas Day and has nothing to eat for New Year. Since July she applied and still waiting to receive her public assistance book in which she could buy a little bread for her New Year. This is Guyana. Happy New Year. Guys, look how Guyana's money-making machines, prime state lands and properties have been disappearing one by one from our hands in front of our eyes. Months after Jagdeo turned president in 1999, he sold to Bobby Ramroop for next to nothing the entire GPC that used to bring in decent foreign exchange currency by exporting the whiz, Limacol, Nutrifus, Ferrol, Smelopine, and other things it used to manufacture. From then on, right up to 2015, Ramroop and his companies was given the bulk of all the drug contracts to the tune of billions and was being paid hundreds of millions to store the Ministry of Health drugs in the same GPC bond that Jagdeo sold to him. Next, the Jagdeo government spent hundreds of millions of our tax dollars to renovate and fix up the Sonata complex, which was worth tens of millions of US in West Rhineveld. That too was eventually sold to Ramroop at a bargain price. Like the Sonata complex, The bulk of the money to build the Berbice Bridge came from our tax dollars. Yet Bobby Ramoop Company is the single largest shareholder in it, reaping the hog. Days before Jagdeo left office in 2011, he granted TV, radio and cable license to Ramoop Group of companies. As for the other prime state lands that was granted to him and his companies, wow. And by the way, you ever know Ramoop had put in a proposal to buy out the whole border cricket ground? That letter was leaked to me. And when Kaieteur News exposed the story, the plan was abandoned. And these are only some of the things that the eyes can see. The 20% shares Guyana had owned in GT&T that used to give Guyana 2.5 million US a year, Jagdeo sold it. And on to this day, the Guyanese people, me and you, doesn't know whose hands those shares went into. We were told it's a Chinese company. That's it. We are still to receive a missing 5 million US on that deal. The Amelia Falls Hydro Project that Jagdeo also wanted to push down our throat, telling us it's a Chinese investment. Just read through the lines. The new Demerara Harbor Bridge they were going to build and say it's a Chinese company would own and build it. Think again and think through the lines. This Wales gas plant, my words will come to pass. Who will be the real money makers out of it? Just wait, watch and see. In 2023, keep your eyes wide open. The Marriott Hotel, another money-making machine, has gone up for sale with tricks inside the upcoming arrangements. As for the Kaieteur and Kanji oil blocks, Jagdeo is still to release the information he promised as to who are the beneficial owners of them. This is how Jagdeo looking out for your pocket, your belly, your good life. You gotta love him, eh? Looking out for the Guyanese people in that fashion. The money-making machines disappearing out of the Guyanese people's hands. You see why you guys can only get 8% salary increase? These things are by accident. Just asking. More to come. Keep following me. People, you're being rolled over, torn over, and hammered with Exxon interest rates. Years now, we have been asking publicly, the Kaieteur News and on my radio programs, about the interest rates being paid on Exxon's investments out there. Last year, when President Ali was asked by one of his supporters at a gathering in Berbice, he told the gentleman, "Oh, you just listen to the Lall show. Don't worry, we have the answers. We have all the answers for him." And to now, he nor any politician ever answered that question about the interest rates we are paying on those investments out there. Let me show all of you the length of shaft is shoving down your throats with simple maths. The expiration costs and those 4 projects, Liza 1 to 4, is over 50 billion American dollars. But let's use 50 billion at a 10% rate. Exxon walking away with 5 billion US dollars every year alone in interest rate. Guess what Guyana, me and you receive in 2022? Just over $1 billion US dollars. We're paying $5 billion a year on interest rate alone out of our oil and getting just over $1 billion. This is what you call business. Huh? And more billion-dollar projects, Jagdeo and President Ali going to approve very soon. This is so sickening and disturbing that a crook like the IMF has just put out a statement warning Guyana to please cap the interest rate on these oil companies. Unless this happens, oil companies can ride Guyana like a donkey, round and round till the oil is done. Those people is saying that. You see why the leaders can't tell us the interest rate? The interest rate, Exxon is digging on us because we will get to see the billions that is being dig out from our oil profits in interest alone. $5 billion, and we getting just over $1 billion. Your leaders doing worse to Guyana than what the African leaders did to Africa. Listen to Barra Jagdeo when he was the opposition leader speaking like a warrior in Parliament.
After ExxonMobil came here under the PVP, explored under the PVP, found oil under the PVP, at that time we had a chance to renegotiate the contract to bring more benefits to Guyana. Mr. Speaker, that company walked in because they're very smart, big company. They look out for their shareholders. And so what they did, they walk in with their maximum demands. Our incompetent government trudged in there unprepared and stuck us with a contract that would harm us for decades into the future. They sold our patrimony. And when they were caught, Mr. Speaker, with this, what they did...
His tone of voice back then. Now listen to what he said last week, sitting at the helm of the oil sector. When I asked him if Guyana will benefit anything more from this fifth oil project he is about to approve. Will Guyana see any further benefits?
All right, that's one. Fifth oil project.
Talking about ring fencing, full liability coverage.
All right, I got that.
Royalty or any other.
Yeah.
Will you be seeking the oil companies paying at least the country's taxes on the fifth project? You know, corporation tax on that.
Okay, all right.
All right.
Here's the same question you're asking me.
All right.
Yeah.
No, I want to be very
Oh,
clear.
okay.
Very clear.
You want to make a speech, man?
No,
Yeah, go
I just
on.
want to be specific, sir. I'm telling you, fencing for liability coverage and corporation tax.
You know what you're asking me? Well, I called to a place. I order a plucked chicken. And the person said, and then I asked the man, are you going to pull out the feather by the tail? No, and also the other things? The plucked chicken is that we made it clear publicly that projects under the Starbrook block, that they will enjoy the same terms as were there in the 2016 agreement. That's it. The fifth project is done under the Starbrook block. That is the plucked chicken.
No, sir.
Yes, that's the plucked chicken. You're going to ask me.
I'm talking, you're going to approve a fifth project.
Under the Starbrook block, in the Starbrook block. In the Starbrook block. That's the fifth project. Okay. In the Starbrook block. So that's you asking me about the feather now, by the tail and the feather by the foot.
Is that the answer?
Right, yes. That's the answer.
That warrior now equating our US $1 trillion business to a plucked chicken with feathers. Is that a two-faced, two-mouthed man? Or did I touch his most prized possession? Just asking. the laws of Guyana states that all contracts, be it gold, diamond, bauxite, timber, manganese, you name it, must be made public for every Guyanese to see. Jagdeo himself acknowledged that and promised to make all contracts available to this nation. Yesterday, for the 6th time, he was confronted by me on this subject matter. And like the 5 other times, is one excuse after the other from him. I also reminded him yesterday about the Kaieteur and Kanji oil blocks report. He had promised to make available to the public as to who are the beneficial owners of those 2 oil blocks. Like the mining contracts, more excuses coming from his mouth. Yesterday, in one sentence, he told the nation at his press conference, Lall must go and ask the minister for it. You guys see the games this leader is playing with your wealth, your properties. Kaieteur and Kanji oil blocks worth billions of US dollars were just signed away by President Ramotar and Robert Prasad. And when questions were asked, President Ramotar said he acted on the advice and recommendations of Minister Robert Prasad and GGMC. When Robert Prasad was asked, he said he never knew or meet the persons that the 2 oil blocks were given to. He only met the lawyers who sign on behalf of the people who get it and can't remember the names or where the office is located. Now, Jagdeo is telling this nation, go to Vikram Bharat to see the report of who are the beneficial owners, the money owners of the 2 oil blocks. Will we ever see it? Will we ever know it? Have a nice day. Your properties, your wealth, your livelihood, your future keeps on vanishing in thin air. God bless you. Have a nice Christmas. Exxon putting up huge billboards. Vice President Jagdeo told me this on my radio program.
Right now, we are getting just over 50% of the total take. So where we move from between 50, 52, 59, whatever you define it as.
What you define it as. This is the person President Ali put to head the oil sector in Guyana. Cannot say definitively to this country what percentage of revenue the Guyanese people are receiving from our oil deal. 3 years pumping oil now. Now, ExxonMobil is spending millions further shortening our share to build and erect huge billboards to tell we, the Guyanese people, we are getting 52% out of the Stabroek Block deal. 52% of what? Not the whole apple, but 52% of a quarter of the apple Guyana is getting. Guys, what Exxon should have been telling us on those huge billboards is who getting the 3/4 of the apple plus the other half of the quarter apple which remains. Oh, it's mind-boggling that the white man can put up billboards staring us in our face to mislead us all And our leaders, all of them, are silent. Merry Christmas from the Kaieteur family. If you live in Essequibo, Linden or Berbice, you have to cross the Demerara Harbor Bridge to see ExxonMobil billboard to know what percentage Guyana is getting. Have a nice day. This instrument I got in my hand is not to wound or kill anybody. But this same instrument is what ExxonMobil using to cut up we share for Guyana. 6 years now, the PNC and the AFC signed the Exxon contract, and none of them to date have told this nation definitively what percentage Guyana is getting out of this oil deal. The PPP come in 2 years now. And Jagdeo, who's heading the oil sector, he too cannot say exactly what percentage Guyana receiving. Now, ExxonMobil putting up billboards at the airport, on the west coast, and across the Demerara Harbor Bridge to tell the Guyanese people we are getting 52% out of the oil in the Stabroek block every day. You know why these politicians can't tell us, guys? It's because they're ashamed to disclose what really Guyana is getting as this 52%. Now let me show you. Let me show you with the same instrument in my hand what Guyana 52% according to ExxonMobil billboards. Yes, let me show you it. This is the apple. It cut in 4 quarters. 1, 2, 3. This ExxonMobil taking out up front. They call the car style. This quarter is cut in half. Is cut in half. And this is half and half. So this gone for Exxon, and this half out of the quarter belong to Guyana. With a little piece of the 2%, what they say? They give you 2% royalty, come back here, and this is Guyana one. This is what Guyana really getting. This is Guyana 52% of the oil in Stabroek block. This is what the billboard showing y'all. Really? Really? More to come. Apple again. This time, I am not cutting the apple. I am just peeling the apple. The skin is on the table and the flesh is in my hand. ExxonMobil responded to my statement I make on them billboards they put up all over the country misleading all of us. In their response they put out, them say, the information displayed on the billboards in question is factual and can be verified. You hear that, guys? The information is factual and can be verified. Well, if what Glenn Lall says is misleading, why not prove me wrong, Exxon, by showing us the facts rather than saying to the Guyanese people, it is factual and can be verified. Guys, this is what they have been doing all along with the PNC, the AFC, and the PPP. And now they want to brainwash me and you, the Guyanese people, with those billboards. The billboard says more than 280 billion for Guyana since 2019. Look, it's behind me. That is the money Guyana received 4 years now for the 14.5% of the apple, according to ExxonMobil calculations. The billboard ain't telling the Guyanese people, me and you, that the other 85.5% of the apple which they're gone with within the last 4 years was just under 1,700 billion. No. Them figure, them gone with, is not on the billboard for us to see, me and you. Guyana gets 280 billion, and that depth on the billboard. We lose close to 1,700 billion worth of our oil to them, and that is not on the billboard. Guys, you want to hear this? Out of we 280 billion, we have to pay all the taxes for Exxon in Guyana. You call it a free pass. So, you see why I peel this apple? The skin what you're looking at here? Yes, what you're looking at here? Is what we the Guyanese people got to eat or settle for. While Exxon and their partners eating this, the flesh of the apple. Have a nice day, and more to come. Can you imagine our leaders? None of them cannot say precisely what is Guyana's total share from our oil production out there. Listen to what Vice President Jagdeo said to me on my radio program.
Right now, we are getting just over 50% of the total take. So where we move from between 50, 52, 59, whatever you define it as.
Now, we are getting just over 50% of the total take. So, where we move from between 50, 52, 59, whatever you define it as. This is Guyana's ex-president that served 2 terms in office as president. Now the vice president who was put in charge of the oil industry in Guyana cannot say to this nation exactly what is the total percentage of Guyana receiving from our oil. Can you believe this thing? Is this for real? Guyana signed a contract with ExxonMobil 7 years now with all the details inside as to what's for Guyana and what's for ExxonMobil. Yet the vice president who's heading the oil sector cannot say definitively what percentage Guyana is getting from this deal. Is this man for real? Huh? Telling a nation 50, 52, 59, whatever you define it as. No, man. This is unthinkable in this oil-rich country called Guyana from a leader. Man, guys, if Jagdeo doesn't know what we are getting, then what else he knows? Really? This is the man y'all have looking out for your future? Okay. Y'all have a nice day. And don't share this video. Worse than Africa and Asia is right here. TikTok. What does Magadag 8% increase mean for the public servants? The richest countries of the world, US, Finland, Canada, England, Germany, the Netherlands, France, Belgium, Norway, India, and so many others who are getting all their taxes according to their country's laws. and hefty royalty rates from oil companies is now slapping on windfall tax on the super profits the oil companies making presently to benefit their country and their people. India and England raised their windfall tax 2 times in 6 months on their oil companies. Both stories we carried in Friday and Saturday's Kaieteur News. In 4 months, India hikes windfall tax on crude oil, and England raised their windfall tax from 25% to 35% in 6 months. Guyana, where half of our school children fainting in classrooms out of hunger, getting the lowest royalty rate in the world from oil companies. We give away the taxes that is mandated by the laws of this country and not asking for a windfall tax on the super profits the oil companies are making on our oil at present. Yes, 6,000 and the 8,000 increase that you get monthly on a year's salary will make you all comfortable and happy. Have a nice day, and please share this video. President Ali, who never held a press conference 2 years since he took office on our oil, had an interview last week with an American journalist working with Al Jazeera news agency, and told the reporter the story of Guyana is not about oil and gas. It's about food security, agriculture, and most importantly, tourism. Please listen to him in his own words.
The story about Guyana is not oil and gas. We are a country that is rich in history. We are a country that will be, and mark my words, will be a leader in food security and agriculture. And importantly, we will be among the best ecotourism destination you can find.
Mark my words, guys. Mark my words. Guyana holds a third of all the oil found in the entire world for the last 8 years. And our president talking about bora, baji, rice, sugar, birds, and wild animals. That is food security and ecotourism for Guyana. God, please help this nation and help this nation quickly. We're in trouble. This is what, guys, I saw broadcasting to the entire world Saturday night on Al Jazeera TV. I had to pinch myself to ensure that I was not dreaming again and that somebody was not imitating President Ali's voice. Our oil is on every world leader's tongue day and night. Our oil is on all the stock exchange boards and markets. Our oil is on every international financial institutions, but not on Guyana's president's tongue or in his mind. Bora, baji, rice, sugar, birds, and wild animals is on his tongue. Really? Really? 56 years since independence, and we haven't planted or produced to supply we own homes, we own people, rice, sugar at a cheap and competitive price. Yet our president saying we will be the leader in food security and agriculture. Oh yeah? Really? Everything double. Agriculture is in a crisis. Sugar is on its deathbed. Rice farmers are complaining and consumers are bawling about the cost of food. Yet, Guyana, according to our president, will be the leader in food security for the world and the ecotourism. Not this $1 trillion oil sector. If that is President Ali's words and vision for Guyana, brothers and sisters, then mark my words. You are staring at a country that will become far worse than Haiti, Asia, and Africa. And your children will continue to faint in classrooms from hunger. God bless all of you for not sharing this video. Have a nice day. Guys, listen to this madness and watch this sellout. Every barrel of oil that comes up out there, 75% or 3/4 is taken out by ExxonMobil as cost oil. Let me show you. This is a barrel. This is the 75% or 3/4. Let me repeat. 3/4 of every barrel is coming out up front as expenses and investment costs, which no one authorizing or verifying those expenses and costs thrown at us by those oil companies. This here, this 3/4 is coming out up front, and nobody asking a question or verifying or checking this. And this here will goes on until the oil is completely finished in Guyana. Now, you tell me, is this how you do business between two people? Between Guyana and ExxonMobil? Now listen the other part. This quarter, which is 25%, is then split between the two of us, between Guyana and ExxonMobil. Them get 12.5, and we, Guyana, gets 12.5. Now tell me again, how on earth that is a 50-50 profit sharing business? Huh? When one side is huffing out 3/4 barrel up front and calling it cost oil, in which Jagdeo didn't authorize or making any effort to check and verify the investment and expenses. You tell me who manages any business like this, man? Well, this is how this US $1 trillion business is being managed and operated in Guyana by President Ali, Vice President Jagdeo, Norton, and Ramjatan. This is what is going on. Nobody checking here. And this 25 is what is splitting, and they call the half and half business. Y'all have a nice day. With a smile on my face, kindness in my hands, and love in my heart, I extend Christmas greetings to you all. On this Christmas day, my heart will overflow with gratitude if I could only have one wish and one prayer come true. Help me in making them both a reality. This is it. I wish that Guyana's God-given wealth brings out the best in all of us. And I will pray we will all do our very best to secure the birthright of every citizen, a just and fair share of our country's wealth. This is my wish and my prayer for you on this Christmas Day. President Ali has shown his concern and compassion by building a home for an elderly woman and committed to do the same for a young mother with 6 children. President Ali has demonstrated his humane qualities with these kind gestures, which has brought Christmas joy to those 2 families. But he can also ensure that same goodwill is enjoyed by each and every other family right across this land if his government would only secure ring fencing, increase royalty and profit share with full liability coverage and taxes from Exxon and its partners in the Stabroek Block. Then, every family in Guyana can be assured of not only the best Christmas ever, but the best future for our children and that of our grandchildren. Is that too much to ask for on this special day? Without ring fencing, we are leaving our gate, front door and safe wide open with all our savings for the bandits. Without taxes and that full liability coverage, Mr. Ali, we are exposed to an environmental and economic disaster in the event of a major oil spill. Why not secure Guyana, sir? Is this too much to ask for on this special day? We are being robbed on the meager 2% royalty with a profit-sharing arrangement that is unheard of in the oil sector and no taxes. Shouldn't that change, Mr. Ali? So that every citizen, not only the 2 families, can enjoy bright Christmases in the future? Just asking. As we celebrate the birth of Jesus Christ, can we, as Guyanese brothers and sisters, link our arms in a protective vice to secure the wealth that our Creator has bestowed on us? Please, please. Let me take this opportunity on behalf of the entire Kaieteur family and myself to wish all of you a Merry Christmas and the promise of a better life which our country's wealth can more than provide for us all. I am Glenn Lall saying it has been a pleasure to serve you throughout 2022 with the Kaieteur news and the